Okay. All right. We're back with our first episode of Bigfoot and Yeti. No, wait. I'm Sasquatch. Bigfoot Revival on the Road. YouTube! So, you got way more energy now.
I do. You just hit that record button, son, and I'm ready to go.
Oh, all right. So, we wanted to have YouTube videos. We said we'll make them shorter, kind of as we're jumping from one job site to the other, something of that nature. Maybe we go to get lunch, but hopefully we can put out 2-3 of these a week. Put out just short snippet content that somebody else can kind of find. So, first thing I wanted to bring up is something that I don't know hardly anything about, to be 100% honest with you. I'm just now starting to come out of my, what would you call it? My political coma.
Oh,
right.
You've been in one of those?
Yeah.
Welcome to my world.
It's one of those things where I honestly, he's like, all right, Biden, all this stuff is stupid. I want to talk more cultural stuff, but in reality, what's going on in politics is culture. So It needs to be discussed. But I just really wanted to get away from it for a while because we got so tied up into it. But then I come back and I see that our dictator, our benevolent leader,
and his regime
are wanting to take away our property rights.
No.
And so where it's most evident to me is the vaccines. So they're wanting to open up the vaccine patents to everyone. Now, what that means is that if I made a vaccine and I put in billions of dollars developing this vaccine, I haven't made a dime yet. I put in billions of dollars just developing it. I get it developed. We use it. It works. That's besides the point. But now the rest of the world wants it. China wants it. India wants it. Russia wants it. But they don't want to pay for it. All right? They don't want to pay for it. So America says, hey, we'll open it up to you. What's the incentive for you to come up with a new vaccine? To spend billions of dollars designing another vaccine if you're not going to be able to make your money back. And it's not this one guy in a great big old tower wearing a monocle talking about, you're talking about everybody from the janitor who sweeps the floor at the buildings to the highest ranked guy to the people who are just out there wearing all the lab coats and stuff, who are doing the research and study. There's a lot of moving parts to this thing. And the fact that we can do what we do with these type of things at the price that we can do them for is remarkable within itself. No other country's been able to do that. So now they're not going to be able to make money off of all that hard work that they poured into it. If they can do that, right? Why can't they do that to something you invented? So say you invent an app that revolutionary.
So you saying this is where it could be the start of it? So
yes.
If they can do it here,
yes.
Eventually they're going to move and do it there.
Yeah. So if we invented let's say we invented something that just revolutionized the podcasting industry. Man, we're not doing that. We don't do that with the podcast. Much
just us being here is revolutionary to the podcasting industry.
Let's say we did, and we wanted to share it with the world. We don't have manufacturing ability, right? So we sell it to 4 or 5 different companies who all pay us a little something to use our design, but they're the ones manufacturing it.
Sure.
You deserve something back for that work.
Yeah.
Even though you're not the one manufacturing it. Now the manufacturer deserves something for his work. And the salesmen do. And everybody who's a part of the system deserves something for their work, including the person. So you're losing property. And if you look back into the old days when we were founding the country, you'll see them talking about this clearly.
For the really old days.
Yeah. You'll see them talking about this kind of stuff clearly. Benjamin Franklin, and it just goes on. But that being said, it's not just that either. They're looking at taking over 1/3 of the land in our country by 2030.
Now, when did this come out?
I don't remember, to be honest with you. This is a plan that the Biden administration put forward through. The Biden administration didn't come up with this plan. They got this plan from a think tank, a liberal think tank, and then are wanting to implement it. And so basically, they're wanting to take over 1/3 of the United States property maps, the land maps, and have it like national park, that kind of thing.
Really?
Yeah. So
without you having any sort of say-so, they just come and...
No. I mean, it goes back to what do you call that? Something domain. Eminent domain. It goes back to eminent domain. In other words, you don't own that property. We do as the government. And so, I mean, the Walmart in our small town. I don't know if it's true. So let me caveat this with the rumor mill, or the word on the street was that Walmart took the landowner to court, and the court decided Walmart would bring more value to that property, and made him sell his property. Said if he didn't sell it to Walmart, they would take it from him and they would sell it to Walmart.
You know, that's happened too, right around this area with some of the state roads coming in, and the way that they've been doing some of these bypasses.
Yeah.
There's been people that have had private properties, and they said, we're going to give you X amount of dollars for them. It's ours. You can go find you somewhere else to stay, because regardless,
there's no
roads coming through.
Yeah, there's no negotiating. There's no nothing.
Yeah. It's in that realm.
Yeah, and eminent domain isn't anything new.
Right.
I mean, that's something that's been around
I've
for
never
a while.
paid no mind before. I guess because it's never affected me, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. And so, and there's other plans. By 2030, they've got the World Economic Forum is the group, has said that no one will own land and we'll all like it. Nobody own property in general. So you won't even own a car. You will rent a car.
And like it?
Oh,
that's garbage.
And there's also talk about moving everyone who are kind of rural into cities. So they're
like it.
And so this stuff is floating around. The Biden administration may not accomplish this. All right, I'm going to be honest about
it. For sure.
They may not be able to get it finished, but they are definitely going to lay the foundation for it.
Yeah.
Obama laid the foundation in a lot of ways. Even Delano Roosevelt laid the foundation for it in a lot of ways. This is something that has slowly been happening over a long period of time.
Yeah.
This isn't anything new. And so they're just going to continue pushing us down that trail of to where you don't own property. Less people own property percentage-wise. Less people own property today than ever before in America. And so
then one day, everyone wakes up and thinks, what happened and how did we get here?
So as Christians, part of what I'm wanting to clarify too is, as Christians, our daddy already owns the world.
All
right?
Right.
Like the American government can come in and say, we're going to take this, but they can't take it from him.
That's right.
They can't take it from him. And
and as his kids, guess what? We inherited.
We already inheritors. We have been adopted in to the family through our Christ dying on the cross for us. So we may have to deal with hard times. We may have to struggle and may have our property taken away, right? I mean, we may have horrible thing. Some of us may be killed. We're already seeing in England, Canada,
Yeah.
where these pastors are being arrested. We're already seeing some of this stuff. So, with all that being said, we need to just be prepared to follow Christ in these times.
Yeah.
And to influence the culture in such a way that maybe this stuff is reversible. I don't know. I'm not trying to say that if we all just give our best to God, that God will reverse all this and make things great. Maybe not. But regardless, our job doesn't change to what God does with it or not.
Yeah.
We're to bring Him glory in everything that we do. We're to preach the gospel to everyone we meet. We are to, as Paul said when he was talking to, was it the Ephesians? He says that I'm not worried about my blood on any of y'all's heads. I've done. If you didn't accept it, that's your fault, because I preach the gospel to everyone.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're trying to proclaim. This stuff can be scary. It can be intimidating. Because what do? You know, when you're talking about the United States government, there's a part of me that says, well, what do you do? Like, and I'm thinking grab your guns or man, I'm not saying grab your guns and go to war, but it is that kind of thing where you're saying they can't do that. There has to be something that can be done to prevent this. But say there's not, and that's the will of God. Well, then that's the will of God.
Yeah, exactly.
And He's allowed it to happen. And so we're to work. We're to be obedient to Him no matter what the circumstances, not just when it's fun or convenient to us. And I know. Ultimately, this kind of saying, or temporarily, or just right now, it sounds like this could really suck. This could really be bad news, and that's true. But in the greater scheme of things, in the glory of heaven and the God Almighty, this is child's play.
There you go.
This is infancy.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to be their own gods, and they want to be, this, that, and other thing. And God says, all right, do it. And He'll watch them tear themselves apart. He'll watch them tear themselves apart. And ultimately, they have to be answerable for what they do
And laugh.
in heaven.
God sees what man tries to do to set himself up as God, and God laughs at him.
And this is how God laughs. Ha ha, ha ha.
That's what it says in the ESV.
Yeah. So, guys, I hope that was interesting to you. I hope it was good. I hope it gave you something to think about. Do some research into it. I tell you who's good that helped me, who first kind of got this on my radar, and that's Glenn Beck. He's not a Christian, but he does seem to be paying mind to some of this, and it's in the documents. I mean, all this stuff is laid out. It's just a matter of finding it, and if you're able to put that much work and research into it. So, look, we're on the job, so we're going to get on out of here, but we'll holler at you later.
Deuces.